virtualization. Okay, so what is that? What happened? Okay. So I explained in the form in the terms of virtual machine, server virtual machine kind of stuff. The whole concept actually is server virtualization concept. Not only that, okay, not only a server virtualization concept means virtual machines, physical server concept. Also, there is a network virtualization, desktop virtualization, application virtualization, storage virtualization. Okay, these kind of virtualizations are there. The first five are important, guys, because these two are a older one. Now we are not using that one. That type of virtualizations we are not using. Okay, so you can tell any definition, but do not change the meaning of originality of a virtualization. Software-based virtual representation of application, server, storage, and network to reduce IT expenses while boosting efficiency, agility. This part is okay, no problem. We can remove it also. So here are different type of virtualizations. So this is we have to start with the server virtualization first. Really, we can learn virtualization is easy way is a server virtualization, even it is a very big one. It is a very simple to learn first of all. Okay, server virtualization enable multiple operating systems to run on a single physical server as a highly efficient virtual machine. Server virtualization enables multiple operating systems. Okay, is your Linux, this is Windows 10, Windows Server, multiple operating systems to run on a single physical server. In single physical machine, we can run it. Okay, as a highly efficient virtual machines. This is a server virtual machine. Already whatever I explained virtualization in the terms of virtual machines, same thing comes here. Greater IT efficiency. You can utilize your resources much better than physically having a servers. Okay. Reduce operating cost. Already I explained capital expenditure and operating expenditures. So physical machine maintenance, physical servers for purchasing or maintenance is cost is higher. Better to utilize in the better way, so then we can reduce that operating costs. Okay, so what is the better way? So one of the thing is virtualization concept. Faster workload deployments, increase application performance. uh, we can tell in a different ways, that is increase application performance means your application is running in a virtual machine. You need more resources. Like yesterday I asked some questions to this mechanical and civil people. That is, so you have a heavy application. You are trying to run in your PC. Now the entire system is slower. You run an application, heavy application. It is a 3D modeling application. It is your entire PC is slow. Then what to do? Okay, what is so you have to increase your RAM capacity, processing capacity, right? As I given earlier one example, I want to increase my RAM to my physical laptop. Again, I have to go to market, I purchase the RAM and I insert it. It time taking process. To increase my RAM capacity to my virtual machine, it is very easy. Of course, there is certain limitations are there, but in general, I am telling, so we can increase. Of course, we cannot increase more than physically available. So this is a 2 GB RAM. I can increase up to, okay, 9.6 GB. Okay, that is a physically recommended memory to guest OS minimum is 1 GB. Recommendation is 2, 9.6 is minimum. It is showing like this. So it is showing up to 128 GB, but we can able to increase up to 48 like that. Mainly important is in my physical memory, what is the available memory? Go to performance, memory. So my available memory is 5 GB. I can reach up to 5 GB. Less than 5 GB is better. Like 4 GB is okay, no problem. Available memory is only 5 GB. Even I have a total memory is 12 GB, but availability is 5 GB. So for my virtual machine, okay, I can use for 2 GB or 1 GB or for 3 GB, 4 GB, no problem. But if I use for a 6 GB, more than 5 GB, if I use, system becomes slower automatically because it's utilize your physical resources. Okay. Faster workload deployment, increase application performance, high server availability. Already I told HA, high availability or failover cluster. If physical server is down, no problem. The server will start from other physical machine. Okay. So that is high availability. It is always availability. Higher availability services. Eliminate power sprawl and complexities. Complexity of wiring, connectivity, power backups. Okay, that will be reduced. Okay, so first one, the server virtualization is like this. You can comes from what is server virtualization means, guys. This is a server. Okay, think like this. Here is a one server. Server means server contains a hardware. Okay, server contain a hardware layer means yeah, server having a CPU, RAM, hard disk, right? NIC. These are the hardware components. Okay, hardware components. Now I want to create a virtual machine in this server. Or to create a virtual machine in this server, few things are important. One is there must be a platform. Okay, like this is a hardware part or anything. There required a platform to create or enable or run these virtual machines. Now to create a virtual machine here, I need a certain platform to run the or to create or to enable this virtual machine kind of stuff. Okay, so that platform we call it as a hypervisor. That platform we call it as a hypervisor. Okay, this hypervisor will provide an environment to create this virtual machine. Yes, I'm working on this note. What is this? This is a notepad. It is paintbrush, right? I'm able to open an application called paintbrush. I can able to paint. Here it is my PPT, Microsoft Office running. Okay, so how can it is possible? Because of my operating system, my Windows 10 operating system providing these kind of features, okay, facilities, so then I can able to work with my PC like that. In this case, I want to run a virtual machines, not to run a virtual machine with more efficient way on the server. So what we do, we need a platform to create and run these virtual machines. We need a hypervisor. This is the first point. One more point. So the second point is CPU, your CPU. Inside this CPU, there is a virtualization technology. Okay. This CPU, there is a virtualization technology feature is there. If you don't get it, what it is, guys, CPU is a small chip made by a CMOS technology. CPU is a chipset, right? Now, CPU, we are giving instructions and data to do certain task. But how CPU will understand your instructions and data? Okay. Giving instructions to the CPU, but CPU, how it will understand? Built-in CPU, there is already some certain instructions are there. Already certain instructions are there. It will understand your instructions and data, it process it and generate a outcome, output. Okay, do as per that one. Okay, so that is a instruction set. One of the instruction set is BTX or AMDV, okay, which is built inside your CPU. Intel VTX, for Intel it is called a VTX. Okay, for Linux, sorry, for Intel it is VTX, for AMD it is AMDV. Another also there, NX, SVM, certain other instructions also use for this virtualization purpose. Every CPU may not have this built-in virtualization technology. Every CPU may not have this virtualization technology. Okay, first. Second one is, if you have a 64-bit PC, your CPU is 64, you have to compulsory check virtualization technology is there or not. You have a 64-bit type of processor, it is, check VTX facilities there or not. In 32-bit, processor, we don't have a VTX. There is a virtualization concept is there, but VTX facility is not there. Virtualization technology enabling kind of concept is not there. But in 64, it may be there. So compulsory you have to verify. What is the use? You can run virtual machines. The OS in the virtual machine can be 64-bit virtual machines. You can run 64-bit virtual machines if you have this enabled. To enable it, you have to go to BIOS settings and you have to enable it.
Sir, how can we check the...
Very good. How to check whether your VTX is enabled or not, or at least VTX is there or not, or virtualization technology is enabled or not, or it is there or not. Very good. The first thing is, already I told, I think so earlier, but I am telling now.
Sir, in memory, it will show that how much it is virtualization is enabled or not disabled.
Very good. In CPU, not memory, CPU.
Yes.
So go to Task Manager, Performance, CPU. Can you see this virtualization is enabled or not? Okay, can you see virtualization is enabled? Whether you want to know whether there is a virtualization or not, that concept is there or not, we don't know. Sometimes you got some friend's laptop and he's saying like I installed a VMware workstation, okay, and I'm trying to install operating system, it is throwing some kind of error, okay, something like a VTX is not enabled kind of stuff error it is showing. Then you go to this task manager and check it, this is enabled or not. If it is showing a disabled, if it is showing disabled means no problem. Go to BIOS settings. Go to BIOS settings. Enable the in BIOS setting. Enable this feature. That is first point. If it is not at all there, it is showing a not enable, not disable. This feature is not at all there. It means you cannot do anything. This is easiest way. I'm telling you. Another way is also there. Two ways are there. One is go to command prompt. Sorry, sir. Sysinfo. System info. System info. Can you see it is when you put a command called a system info? Hyper-V requirement. Virtualization enabled in firmware. Yes. Secondary address translation is yes. Okay, these two are. VM monitor mode extension is yes. Last one is data execution prevention available or not. Okay, like this also you will gather the information it is enabled or not. Also you can get it from MS Info 32. See, here also you can get secondary address translation extension, virtualization enabled in a firmware. Yes. Okay. So like that you will know. So it is enabled or not. Second important one is take your CPU number. You know your CPU number, right? So just before we have seen this one, this one. This is your CPU number. I5 3230M. Okay, that is mine. So same thing. You can type I5. You have to check yours. I5 3230M. So there is a arc.intel.com or just intel.com website. So you will get it details of your processor. Okay. So there you can find. See, it's a 64-bit processor. Yes. Instruction set is 64-bit. So what are the instructions? Built-in instructions also you will get it. Intel virtualization technologies. Yes. One second, guys. Just 1 second. Okay, what is a virtualization technology? Allow one hardware platform to function as a multiple virtual platform. It offers improved manageability by limiting downtime, maintaining productivity by isolating computer activities into separate partitions. Okay, so it is, yes, it is there in this as a CPU feature, but in a reality You have to enable or not also important. Okay, how much RAM capacity, type of RAMs, every details you will get it from this site only, directly from their own site only. Okay. Okay, next one is guys. So like this is the BIOS settings, virtualization technology. It is enabled. Otherwise, you have to enable in BIOS. That's the main point here. This is a architecture of a traditional architecture. It is. You can see this is a traditional architecture. This is virtual architecture in a server virtualization. Okay. Again, I will do all this thing kind of stuff. First one, guys. Normally, you take a server or a desktop PC, whatever it is. It contains a hardware layer, right? It means you have a CPU, RAM, you have a hard disk, an IC, kind of stuff. Okay. Next layer is you have your operating system. For example, Windows operating system, a Linux operating system, like you have an operating system layer. On top of this, you have a applications. What are the applications you are running? You can able to run applications. Okay, this is a your laptop or a desktop works like this only. You have a hardware and you install operating system. So then we can able to install applications as per our requirement. Okay, so this is a traditional way of machine. In server virtualization, okay, so here it is same way. We have a hardware. Okay, just before I have written and now it is I removed, right? I have a CPU, I have a RAM, I have a hard disk, I have an IC, and stuff. And for example, if in case you have an operating system layer, this is virtualization layer. Server virtualization, this is the hypervisor. On the hypervisor, you can create a multiple virtual machines. Okay, see. Such a okay. Okay. So here I create a virtual machines. In this machine, each machine has their own operating system. each machine having their own operating system. Either it can be Windows or Linux or anything. Each machine having their own application. Okay, each machine having their own application or a similar applications, depends upon how admin is configured. So this application directly running on this operating system and this hardware. This application running on this OS, this application running on this OS, this application running on this OS. And of course, everyone is running on the same hardware. Okay, so all these machines running on the same hardware, but application indirectly running on the hardware, but not directly running on the hardware. Okay, so this is how traditional machine, normal physical machine, how it is look like. And see, this is the virtual environment, server virtualization part. Again, so already I given a definition of server virtualization. So create and run multiple computers, operating system on a single physical computer. Create and run multiple computer operating system on a single physical computer. Host server share resources with all virtual machines. Okay. This is we are all understand. Host server share resources with all virtual machines. It means this is the resources, right? And it shared to all the virtual machines. So these virtual machine, these virtual machine, these virtual machines utilize the CPU, RAM, hard disk, and network. Okay, so that is the second. This is information I have taken from Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft Hyper-V with a system center, server virtualization with the Hyper-V and system center concept, that PPT. So that's why it is always based on a Hyper-V. Hosted on a Hyper-V, allow you to detach a computer hosting a service or a role from the hardware on which it is runs. Guys, these applications, the applications, these are all applications, right? These are all applications, okay, running on my operating system, which is attached to my operating system. And my operating system is attached to my hardware. But in this virtualization, the machine is running and utilizing the physical resources, but it is not attached completely. Okay, it is in a detached mode only. Anytime we can move these virtual machines or close the virtual machines, shut down the virtual machines, delete the virtual machines whenever we want or required. It is nothing effect on your hardware. Almost all server workloads can run on the virtual machines. Okay, use server virtualization to reduce the number of physically deployed servers and to optimize resource utilization. Okay. Use server virtualization to reduce number of physically deployed servers and to optimize the resource utilization. Already explained that point, but when you read it is look like a something very big word, but it is, it can reduce physical machines, physical servers. And what are the physical servers we have? We create a number of virtual machines. So we can best utilize the available physical servers. First of all, we can use our own physical servers and best utilize physical resources. Okay, physical servers resources, best utilization increases. No need to buy more and more physical servers are physical machines, right? So that is the main points in the server virtualization. So here it is. What is a hypervisor? Here I have written the hypervisor here. What is this hypervisor? Hypervisor provide a platform to create. Hypervisor is a virtualization platform. Hypervisor is a virtualization platform. Virtualization platform. We can create and run virtual machines on the hypervisor. On the hypervisor. Okay. Different hypervisors are there. Different hypervisors are there from different organizations. Different hypervisors are there from different organizations. Okay. So server based, I am talking in a manner of server based hypervisor kind of concept. Okay. So different concepts are there: application based, server based, or OS based, kernel based. Okay. So different layers we are having. So that's why I'm telling like this. CPU, your RAM, your hard disk, okay, your network. These are the main thing in your our PC, right? So this is our hardware. On hardware, I install hypervisor. Again, I told hypervisor is a virtualization platform. Okay. So for example, guys, are you able to understand it? It's totally confusing. I'm keep telling it, even I didn't ask from last 15-20 minutes. That's the second part. Get it? Okay, listen carefully from here. Okay, at least if you don't get it previous points, so at least listen carefully. Guys, think like that. You have a server, means it is a machine, physical machine. It contains a CPU, RAM, hard disk for storage, NIC for network connectivity. What is NIC? It's to connect network connectivity, right? NIC. Network connectivity. Okay. On top of it, I install hypervisor. Different type of hypervisors are there, and different hypervisors from different organizations. Microsoft Hyper-V server. So when you want to download your Windows server like a 2019 ISO, I want to download. So I want to show you the evaluation thing. Yeah, now it is changed. So United States English 64-bit edition, 64-bit VHD edition, Windows Server on Azure, French, German, which server 2019. Pre-request. Who said this? I want this. I want this evaluation center. 2022, 2011 enterprise, 22 SQL server, system center 2022. Very good. 1 second, we better. download the .exe operation orchestration system requirements. Very good. Very good. Okay, so this is the very latest one given, but I need little older. This is waste. Start your evolution. Yeah, hypervisor server. This is what I'm trying to say. So this is 2016 hypervisor, 2019 hypervisor. You can directly download this Microsoft hypervisor directly from Microsoft. Okay, it is a standard start for a free kind of stuff is also there. We don't know whether really it is free or not, but it is to manage anyway. You have to pay later. Okay, that is other server wise you have to pay. But this is Microsoft Hyper-V server. It's a direct server, direct server, direct hypervisor. If you are getting a, for example, Windows Server 2016, which you know already, right? This is Windows Server 2016. It is an operating system. Windows Server 2016 is an operating system which contains Active Directory, DHCP, DNS roles plus Hyper-V as a role it contains inside. Hyper-V as a role content inside. Okay, that is OS plus hypervisor platform. This is direct hypervisor platform as an operating system. Just like there is no other operating system. You see in Windows Server already, guys. So you will see the server manager there. You will see command prompts. You will see Active Directory. You will see DHCP. You will see DNS. In this one, you don't find any GUI or CLI screens. Okay, no management. So very basic management is there, but you will get a pure form of hypervisor,
So,
not
sir,
as a
it
part
is
of
just like Linux.
Linux is also an operating system.
Sir, Linux is also uh, capture like GUI-less system, na?
Yeah, I understand. I understand your question actually. When you say Linux, so when you see Windows, Windows we see as I said an example GUI part, right?
Okay.
So when you see Linux, GUI is a very less or without GUI, only CLI also Linux we can able to work it. But still, Linux is basically an operating system and multiple purpose of things we can do on this Linux. Same way in Windows is an operating system and you can do for a like a multiple applications. You can install an application in it. In this also you can install an application. You can install a package here. You can install a package here. For example, you install DHCP here. You can install DHCP here also. You are make this one as a web server. You can make this one as a web server. So whether it is GUI or CLI, OS based systems are a multiple purpose, multiple things we can able to do it. Okay, because you have done both Linux administration and Windows administration. Whether
Yes, sir.
CLI or a GUI, you have done that one. But in this one, you cannot do DHCP, DNS, or some files or installation of some applications. You cannot do in this hypervisor platform. So only one thing we can able to do is we can create a virtual machines. You can create a virtual machines. Okay, this is your this is hypervisor. One of the hypervisor is Microsoft Hyper-V server. Another one is VMware is an organization, guys. Never say I learn VMware. Never say I learn VMware. Always say like a VMware vSphere. Okay, this is a server virtualization platform. Okay, it is a server virtualization platform. VMware cloud computing platform. None of the something it is even wrongly. Okay. Okay, it is a vSphere or a ESXi. So yeah, VMware benefits of 8 not required now. Now I don't have any that patience to learn. Already 7 is one headache. Now it is 8 is came. Okay. Now Alan. So vSphere is also vSphere or ESXi. Originally, hypervisor platform is a ESXi. The whole package name is vSphere. VMware. Guys, I showed that VMware workstation. We use VMware workstation. That is an application, hypervisor application. This is direct hypervisor. We can directly install in your machine. Citrix. Citrix. Citrix is okay. Citrix is a organization like a Microsoft and VMware. So from Citrix we are getting Zen server. Okay, Zen server. Proximox. Proximox. You know, anybody can learn Proximox. Proximox VE. In Proximox, the name is VE. Okay. Enterprise virtualization kind of stuff. Proximox, mainly it is a open source. Proximox. Okay. It is a open source server virtualization. Virtual environment. Okay. Proximox. It is a open source platform. So anybody can able to take it and develop it and deploy it. That is a open source. And anyone can able to take it, utilize it, no need to pay. Very simple. Okay, so Proxima's virtual environment, compute, network, storage in single solutions. Okay, so this is a download button. Just you can simply download it and you can install it and we can run it. Okay, this is Proxima's virtual environment. Maybe if I have a time, I will download it for you and install and I will show you things. We don't have time, but separately I will do it on my own and I will record and I will send it to you if possible is there. Already I have done that one. Guys, this is the things for your server virtualization. Not completed. Any of the hypervisor you can use it for your hypervisor purpose. This is just like an operating system. You can install directly into your server, your machine. But no traditional operating system. In these cases, no traditional operating system. Okay, either are installed or not installed any no traditional operating system. It means I want to install a VLC player, don't work. I want to install a that VMware workstation, don't work. I want to run a notepad, it don't work. Okay, so it is a just a platform. So then That's it. Okay. But as I said earlier, no GUI, no CLI kind of concept it is. So what we have to do is look at here. I am the admin. I'm managing this my physical server. This is my physical server. Host 1, for example, name is host 1. This is I'm managing. Now I want to create a virtual machines inside. How to create? I have a desktop. Mine is some Windows desktop it is. Okay, so through either desktop tools, using desktop tools, web tools, okay, web tools. I log into this server through network and I am accessing this server from here and I will create a virtual machines from here. Okay, I will create a virtual machines from here. Virtual machine will be created here, runs here only, but I am controlling and managing from here only. Guys, small thing, one more point I will add it, then I will ask you, are you understand or not? So compulsory see. This is the user because we don't have a space here. This is a user. User means one of our organization employee is a user. Now user is this is the user. User send a request to this person means administrator. Send a request to the administrator. I want a virtual machine with two CPUs, not a virtual machine. I want a machine with two CPUs, 2-core CPU must be there. 4 GB RAM is required. 4 GB RAM is required. Okay, and some 200 GB hard disk is required. Okay, 200 GB hard disk is required. 2 NICs must be there, or 1 NIC something it is there. Okay, basic requirement. And operating system must be a Linux operating system. Linux 7. Okay, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL 7 kind of stuff is required. This is the client requirement or user requirement, whatever the word you can use it. Ask the admin. Now what admin will do? He log into this hypervisor host 1 machine and create a virtual machine. Create a virtual machine. Okay. And give all the settings, right? So virtual machine. When he created, he will tell so 2 CPUs must be there and 4 GB RAM and 200 GB hard disk and operating system is Linux 7 means CentOS 7, Red Hat 7, which 7 it is. So that is Enterprise 7 version they connected. Okay. Of course, network wise also configured, people can able to access. The network wise it is. Now, what happened? Admin is created a virtual machine in the our hypervisor, our server, host 1. Now the client has to access, right? Client has to access content in the virtual machine, not outer side of virtual machine. Content in the virtual machine not required to access our hypervisor. So obviously, this machine also getting an IP address from physical network, right? So from there, this virtual machine, he can able to access using a different type of protocols. Guys, how to access a remote Linux machine? Which protocol you use? How to access a remote Linux machine? Hmm? Someone send a message. Very good. Junaid said it is .ssh. Very good. Yeah, I am reading, but he told before that one only. So, okay. SSH. Using SSH protocol, we are able to access Linux. So what we do, only thing is you put SSH and IP address of Linux, then enter. So root password or a user password, give the password, we can able to access it. You can use putty. Putty is very easy. Like a desktop application, you can access. See, admin will create and manage the virtual machines. User will access the virtual machine. For example, I created a Windows machine. This is a virtual machine with Windows OS inside. I am the user, want to access this machine. I am the user, have to access that machine. How to access Windows machine remotely? Linux you said SSH, but Windows machine, remote desktop protocol, RDP, remote desktop protocol. You can access this entire desktop environment from remote PC. So I am the administrator. I created a virtual machine with a Windows 10 operating system in it, or a Windows Server operating system in it. Okay, then I enable remote desktop access. I give the password, username, password, and IP address to the client. So client will access the virtual machine through network using RDP protocol, remote desktop protocol. Port number is 3389. Okay, I hope you got the point, guys. Same thing only. These are all same explanations only. Here also I told about a same explanation. And there is a type 1 and type 2. This is also same remote access kind of explanation. Guys, this whole concept is type 1 virtualization. Type 1 virtualization is a real server virtualization. Type 1 virtualization is a real virtualization. Real server virtualization. We can say like a also called as bare metal virtualization. Now we can, the first statement I will come back. This type of virtualization called a type 1 virtualization. It is also called as bare metal virtualization. What is bare metal virtualization? You are installing hypervisor directly on the hardware. Okay, not on the any operating system or a part of operating system. Directly, actually the hypervisor, not even that statement also correct. Okay. So you are not installing hypervisor as an application or a feature. You're not installing this hypervisor as a part of sorry. You are not install hypervisor as an application. You are install hypervisor directly on the hardware, either as a feature of a operating system or directly on the hardware you are installed. So to remotely, you can through remote web access or remote client access, you can able to create a virtual machines inside. So well, there is a intermediate between type 1 and type 2. That's why my statements are little challenging, little confusing. Very simple, guys. You have a hypervisor. The hypervisor is running on directly a physical machine. Okay, the physical hardware interaction by hypervisor. OS kernel interact with the hardware. OS shell interact with the user. So most of these hypervisors, their kernels are interact with the hardware directly, and a shell interact with the user but not give more user information or interface kind of stuff. Okay, this is this server how server virtualization works. These are the different type of technologies. Of course, I missed a Red Hat or Linux, enterprise Linux base. So there is a QEMU virtualization platform on Linux, and also there are calling KMV or a QEMU kind of platforms useful for a um, used for a server virtualization. It is a concept I'm discussing is type 1 or a bare metal virtualization. Okay, there is a type 2 virtualization is also there, so I will explain it after lunch. Okay. Okay,
Yes, sir.
here also I have a type 1, type 2 virtualization. This is type 2, this is type 1 virtualization. Okay, once I completed, also I will tell about a small things about network virtualization and all. Okay, great. Because I can able to continue